So buckle up because the ride, 3 options will be put on the screen. Because I know you guys won't get it. I know you won't. There's gonna be 3 options put on the screen. You get to guess which one is the brilliant move. I'll see you guys later. Love y'all. Hold the line until next time. Peace. Alright, we have game number 1. White to play the brilliant move. What move do you think is the brilliant move? There's a bunch of good options, but only one great option. Alright, while you guys find the brilliant move, I'm going to take a sip of this Diet Dr. Pepper. So put in the comments or just work it out in your own head, the combination which leads to the brilliant move. Alright, if you guys said their brilliant move was pawn to e6, congratulations, you are correct. This is a particularly nasty brilliant move, because after black takes the queen, bishop gives a check, king has one of 2 options. The king can either send the queen to take the bishop, or the king has to run, both of which are bad. So if the king decides to go to e7, we give a check with knight to d5. After the king goes to d6, the king is now just out in the open because we just give a couple checks. The king has to continue to run and is pushed out to the open. In any position that you are in, if your king is out in the open with no pieces protecting it whatsoever, you know you've done something wrong. So we went over what happens when the king takes. Let's talk about what happens when the queen takes. So after the knight jumps in to take the queen, we give a check, queen takes, pawn takes, king slides over, because if the king goes here, he will be hunted out into the open by these pieces right here. After the king slides over to the d8 square, we want to go ahead and get our knight for a knight right there. h6 stops a check from this position right here, but here comes the rook come into he1. Black needs to try to prevent this pawn from promoting or giving a check, but we go ahead and we move this bishop anyway, because if black takes, it is now mate in 1 with this rook here. So we move that pawn, or we move this here to e7, and now black has nothing better to do but then block with e7, but you take with your bishop. Here comes the rook comes in, we take on e7, knight jumps in, and it is just a bloodbath, because here comes the knight protecting this pawn. After the knight slides over to attack this knight, we go ahead and we forget about it. We just take another pawn here. Here comes the knight to a5, and it is just a bloodbath of a position, because these pawns are going to start to push. Black can survive checkmate, but they are down 9 points of material, or 4 points of material, and 9 on the eval bar. Alright, the reason that bishop takes d7 is not a brilliant move is because you're just trading bishops at this point. You're not sacrificing anything, because after queen takes, you slide your queen out of the way. You're not sacrificing a piece. It doesn't meet the criteria for a brilliant move, and in fact, you lose 2 eval points. You go from 4.5 to 2.4 with that bishop trade. You're still ahead, but it's no longer a brilliant move. Alright, the reason that bishop to g5 is not a brilliant move is because after queen takes with check, king has to slide over, knight jumps in, knight takes, queen comes to g2. Queen is now infiltrated. You can give a check here, but it's just a little too late. Even when you lose the right to castle as black, you're just so far ahead. It's insurmountable for white to come back from. Game number 2. What is white's best move to devastate the position of black? While we wait, what is your guys' personal favorite book series from when you were a child or when you guys are an adult right now? Mine personally is the Redwall series. If I could turn my camera, which I'm too lazy to do, I'd show you my bookshelf. I've got about 20 Redwall series books by Brian Jacques. If you don't know who that is, he was from, I believe, Liverpool. He died quite a while back, maybe 10-15 years ago, but really good books. I recommend them for people of all ages. Child friendly, but yeah, they were fun. Alright, if you guys guessed bishop to f6, you are correct. The reason that this is a brilliant move is pretty self-explanatory, because black take, but after they take, they lose their rook, and now you are up 2 rooks to a bishop and a rook. Alright, the reason that rook takes g7 is not a brilliant move is because after the rook takes back, you are down the opposite position. You are now down a rook for a bishop, and it's a losing endgame. Alright, finally, the reason that bishop to e7 is not a brilliant move is that after rook takes, rook slides over to the d file. You are even on material, but white has more active pieces. They are ahead on the eval, but there is still a lot of chess to be played to convert this to a winning position. Alright, final game here. White to play and keep the lead. If white doesn't make this next move, it is game over. What is white's move? While we wait for this answer, do you guys like drinking coffee? If so, are you a black coffee drinker like I am, like real men and real women? Or are you someone who likes to put coffee, creamer, and sugar into theirs? I used to be like that before I became a man, back when I was a young boy, a young lad. But these days, I enjoy grabbing coffee cups from states that we visited. That's what me and my wife do. So this one is from North Carolina, where we just came back from vacation. So, yeah. Alright, if you guys guessed rook takes d8, you are correct. Congratulations. Or the reason that rook takes d8 check is a brilliant move is because after the king takes, because the rook couldn't take, because it was pinned, the queen slides over to g8, forcing the queen to come down and block, and you know what happens next. Queen takes queen, checkmate. Alright, the reason that queen takes d7 check is not a brilliant move is because you lose your queen for a rook, and now you're down to just your rook against a queen and a knight, and you are going to lose this game 100% of the time. If you decide to take queen takes e7, you're losing your queen, and now you haven't even taken a rook, and now you're down to your rook and some pawns against a queen, knight, rook. I hope you guys enjoyed part number 2 of Guess the Brilliancy. See you guys next time. Hold the line until then. Peace.